Every generation that came before, the boys would have to go and fight in a war. Their mothers wondering what they were fighting for, and praying they'd make it. My grandma was born in 1924, eldest of 13, near I lasted them all. I think of all throughout her life that she saw, and I say we make it. We're all gonna make it, and don't you mistake it. My soul, you can't take it, this world you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it. My old man came up in the 70s. He used to walk around with his Bowie LPs. His love of music he then passed on to me, and now I'll make it. Every generation fancies that it's gonna be the one to face the apocalypse. We've been through so much and yet still we persist. I know we gon' make it. We're all gonna make it, and don't you mistake it. My soul, you can't take it, this road you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it. I'm one of the gang that came up in a time when we hung out outside, 'cause there was no online. What they unleashed on this world, we had no chance to decline. I know what we lost and we gained at the same time. I'm so grateful to be the head of a line that winds back through the ages to the dawn of time. Every woman and man that fought, lived, loved and died is here with me. They're all on our side, and we're all gonna make it. Then don't you mistake it. My soul, you can't take it, this road you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it. Then don't you mistake it. My soul, you can't take it, this road you can't fake it. We're all gonna make it.
Do you know who Akira The Don is?
Of course, he's amazing.
I only desire the approval of a relatively small number of people who I respect. If they said to me, I think you're totally wrong on this, Douglas, then I'd listen. But when it's people who don't want me to do well, then of course I don't listen to them. It's one of the tools we all have to hone in our lives, to work out who wants us to do well, who wishes us well, and to listen to them, even if they're critical of us, and they will be at times, and to separate out those people from people who just, of course, they don't want you to do well. Hate you, hate everything about you, whatever. But I don't have much sympathy with public figures who say, I can't say what I think, I can't speak up, and all this sort of thing. If you're not going to now, when are you going to? If you're not going to in this life, what life are you expecting to come where you'll do it? The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob, the person who refuses to walk with the crowd will feel better. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob will achieve more in their lives, whatever that is, because they will have self-respect. I'm comfortable as you can be in the end times, as everything's burning down and there's plagues of locusts coming our way. And I have the satisfaction of knowing that I'm not lying. The problem with going along is that it demoralizes you. It makes you a smaller person inside. You will be demoralized because you'll know that you shouldn't have done that. And at some level you will think badly of yourself for having done it. You'll feel regretful, you'll feel cowardly, and it will affect your life in other ways. And the opposite is also true. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob, the person who refuses to walk with the crowd will feel better. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob will achieve more in their lives, whatever that is, because they will have self-respect. That's what totalitarian movements across history always knew, was that you grind people down and make them agree to lies because you will then be able to make them do anything. Václav Havel, great late Czech leader, cites the example of a greengrocer in Prague in the communist era in Eastern Europe, who has to put up in his window, like everyone else, the notice that says, "Workers of the world unite." And it's sent by party headquarters to all greengrocers, and you all have to hang it. Václav Havel says a number of things happen from this. The first thing is that, of course, that the greengrocer is showing to everyone that he is a party loyalist and he wouldn't be able to operate as a business if he didn't do this thing. But it also hangs there every day as a sign of his subjugation. It's a little thing, but it hangs there as a sign of his subjugation. And it reminds him he's not the man he could be. You think you're doing a little thing, but you're not. You are diminishing your soul by doing this. Because you know that you could be something more than the person who just has to hang whatever party headquarters tells you to hang this week. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob, the person who refuses to walk with the crowd will feel better. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob will achieve more in their lives, whatever that is, because they will have self-respect.
stronger, braver, and it gives you heart and spirit to the end. If she earns your praise, bestow it. If you like him, let him know it. Let the words of true encouragement be said. Do not wait till life is over and they're underneath the clothing, but they cannot read their tombstone when they're dead. If with pleasure you are viewing any work someone is doing, if you like them or you love them, tell them now. Don't withhold your approbation till the person makes oration, and they lie with snowy lilies on their brow. If you like them or you love them, tell them now. Don't withhold your approbation till the person makes oration, and they lie with snowy lilies on their brow.
Do you know who Akira the Don is?
Of course, he's amazing.
Well, the title, Medium is the Massage, is a teaser, a way of getting attention. There's a wonderful sign hanging on a Toronto junkyard which reads, "Help beautify junkyards. Throw something lovely away today." And this is a very effective way of getting people to notice a lot of things. And so the title is intended to draw attention to the fact that a medium is not something neutral. It does something to people. It takes hold of them, it rubs them up, it massages them, it bumps them around. Medium is the massage. Medium is the massage. It's the massage. Medium is the massage. Medium is the massage.
Of our time, electric technology, everything from the light bulb to the telephone to the computer to jets to nuclear energy is changing everything. We are in the middle of a tremendous clash between the old and the new.
The medium does things to people, and they're always completely unaware of this. They don't really notice the new medium that is roughing them up. They think of the old medium because the old medium is always the content of the new medium, as movies tend to be the content of TV, and as books used to be the content, novels used to be the content of movies. And so every time a new medium arrives, the old medium is the content, and it is highly observable, highly noticeable. But the real roughing up and massaging is done by the new medium, and it is ignored. Medium is the massage. Medium is the massage. It's the massage. Medium is the massage. Medium is the massage.
The idea that television, computers, and the rest are just tools that we use for better or worse isn't true. The way you react to them is what's important, not what's in them or on them. How you use your eyes to see, your ears to hear, brings about new forms of human association and action.
The way we refer to this new situation created by the new television massage, it is an evaluation made by the old visual types looking in the rearview mirror as usual of something that is threatening the old values, and re-entering the old values. New medium is the massage. New medium is the massage. Is the massage. New medium is the massage. New medium is the massage. Is the massage.
When information is brushed against information, the results are startling and effective.
We are re-entering the old tribal world. But this time we're going to go through the tribal dance and the tribal dream. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake. Wide awake.
See, I'm not one of these people who's worried about everything. Country's full of them now. People walking around all day long, every minute of the day, worried about everything. Worried about the air, worried about the water, worried about the soil. Worried about insecticides, pesticides, food additives, carcinogens, worried about radon gas, asbestos, saving endangered species. Let me tell you about endangered species, all right? Saving endangered species is just one more arrogant attempt by humans to control nature. It's arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. Doesn't anybody understand that? Interfering with nature was so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's gonna save something now. Save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? The planet is doing great. Been here 4.5 billion years. Did you ever think about the arithmetic? Planet has been here 4.5 billion years. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe 200,000? And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion. And we have the conceit to think that somehow we're a threat. That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just afloat around the sun. The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through all kinds of things worse than us. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles. Hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment, comets and asteroid meteors, worldwide floods, tidal waves, worldwide fires, erosion, cosmic rays, recurring ice ages. And we think some plastic bags and some aluminum cans are going to make a difference? The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. It's arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's gonna save. So the planet isn't going anywhere. We are. And we won't leave much of a trace either. Thank God for that. Maybe a little styrofoam. Maybe. Little styrofoam. Planet will be here, we'll be long gone. Just another failed mutation, just another closed-end biological mistake, an evolutionary cul-de-sac. The planet will shake us off like a bad case of fleas. A surface nuisance. You want to know how the planet's doing? Ask those people at Pompeii who are frozen into position from volcanic ash how the planet's doing. Want to know if the planet's all right? Ask those people in Mexico City or Armenia or 100 other places buried under thousands of tons of earthquake rubble if they feel like a threat to the planet this week. The planet will be here for a long, long, long time after we're gone. And it will heal itself, it will cleanse itself, because that's what it does. It's a self-correcting system. The air and the water will recover, the earth will be renewed, and if it's true that plastic is not degradable, well, the planet will simply incorporate plastic into a new paradigm, the earth plus plastic. The earth doesn't share our prejudice towards plastic. Plastic came out of the earth. The earth probably sees plastic as just another one of its children. Could be the only reason the earth allowed us to be spawned from it in the first place. It wanted plastic for itself. Didn't know how to make it. Needed us. Could be the answer to our age-old philosophical question, why are we here? Plastic. 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 The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. It's arrogant, meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's gonna save. So the planet isn't going anywhere. We are.
Start where you stand, never mind the past. The past won't help you in beginning anew. And if you've left it all behind at last, why that's enough, you're done with it. You stand where you stand, never mind the past. The past won't help you in beginning anew. And if you've left it all behind at last, why that's enough, you're done with it, you're through. This is another chapter in the book. This is another race that you have planned. Don't give the vanished days a backward look. Start where you stand, start where you stand. The world won't care about your old defeats if you can start anew and win success. The future is your time and time is fleet. Bear as much of work and strain and stress. Forget the buried woes and dead despairs. Here is a brand new trial right at hand. The future is for him who doesn't dare. Start where you stand, start where you stand. Start where you stand, and never mind the past. The past won't help you in beginning anew. And if you've left it all behind at last, why that's enough, you're done with it. You stand where you stand, and never mind the past. The past won't help you in beginning anew. And if you've left it all behind at last, why that's enough, you're done with it, you're through. Old failures will not hold, old triumphs aid. Today's the thing, tomorrow soon will be. Get in the fight and face it unafraid, and leave the past to ancient history. What's been has been, yesterday's dead. And Playa, you were neither blessed nor banned. Take courage, man, be brave and drive the hell where you stand. Start where you stand. Start where you stand, never mind the past. The past won't help you in beginning anew. And if you left it all behind at last, why that's enough, you're done with it. You stand where you stand, never mind the past. The past won't help you in
Well, I keep saying, de-emphasize anxiety. Reassure people. You meet people who say, I'm really scared. I'm scared about my job. I'm scared. It's just, don't worry. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. Worry. Who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? Don't worry. That's God's truth. It's a total waste of time. It presupposes such a knowledge of the situation that it is in fact a form of hubris. Now what you do is just pay your bills and, pack heat if you need to, and don't worry. That's all. Yes. Worry is praying to the devil. That's great. Worry is betting against yourself. Wi Po Yang, a great Chinese Taoist who wrote many, many commentaries on the I Ching. He was asked at the end of his life, what was his conclusion of a life of studying the I Ching? He said, worry is preposterous. That was it. Don't worry. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. Worry. Who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? Don't worry. That's God's truth. Worry. You don't know enough to worry. That's God's truth. Worry. Who do you think you are that you should worry, for crying out loud? That's God's truth. Worry is preposterous. Don't worry. Worry is preposterous. Don't worry. Worry is preposterous. Worry is preposterous. Don't worry. Worry is preposterous. Worry is preposterous. That's God's truth. That's God's truth.
Things that I control, opinion, aim, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever I own, actions. Things not in our control, body, property, reputation, command, and in a word, whatever I own, actions. The things in our control are by nature free, unrestricted and unhindered, but those not in our control are weak, dependent, restricted, alien. Remember then, if you suppose the things which are dependent are also free, and take for thee what belongs to others, then you will be hindered, you'll lament, you'll be disturbed, you'll find fault with gods and men, Some things are in our control and others not. Some things are in our control and others not. Some things are in our control and others not. Some things are in our control and others not. But if you take for your own only that which is your own, a view what belongs to others, such as it really is, no one will ever compel you, no one will ever restrict you. You'll find fault with no one, you will accuse no one, you will do nothing against your will. No one will hurt you, you'll have no enemy, and you will not be harmed. Aiming there for such great things, remember you says you must entirely quit some, and for now postpone the rest. But if you would both have these great things along with power and riches, you'll not even gain the latter, cause you aiming at the former, and you'll fail at the former, by which alone happiness and freedom are achieved. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Some things are in our control, and others not. Work then, so to say, to every harsh appearance, you are but an appearance, and by no means the real thing. And then examine it by those rules which you have, and first and chiefly this, and first and chiefly this, whether it concerns things in our control, or those which are not, or those which are not. And if it concerns anything not in our control, be prepared to say that it is nothing to you.
love is average, seeks average.
solitude, they will attempt to destroy anything that differs from their concept. Those who preach God need God. Those who preach peace do not have peace. Those who preach love do not have love. Beware the preachers. Beware the knowers. Not being able to create art, they will not understand art. They will consider their failure as creators only as a failure of the world. Not being able to love fully, they will believe your love incomplete. And then they will hate you. And their hatred will be perfect. Like a shining diamond. Like a knife. Like a mountain. Like a tiger. Like hemlock. Their finest art. Those who preach God need God. Those who preach peace do not have peace. Those who preach love do not have love. Beware the preachers. Beware the knowers.
Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place.
Akira.
Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nation will help you become whole.
It is usually best to admit mistakes when they occur, and to seek to restore honor.
Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very wise to choose happiness and love. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place.
People see me and think I'm weak. They want to take care of me. But I can take care of myself by myself.
You sound like my nephew. Always thinking you need to do things on your own without anyone's support. There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you.
There is nothing wrong with letting people who love you help you. Sometimes life is like this dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place. Just keep moving. You will come to a better place.
Do you know who Akira The Don is?
Of course, he's amazing.
Okay, so without further ado, we are going to talk about Dr. Seuss, beginning with a poem that you have written.
Without further ado,
Wait, it appears to be, so I have not heard it yet. I'm looking forward to it. And it appears to be written by one Dr. Weinsteinium,
Yes.
which is how I refer to you sometimes when you call me on the phone and we yell at each other.
My sense is that now they have gone far too far. The offenses they claim have grown just too bizarre. They say Dr. Seuss wrote books that did harm, that we shouldn't be fooled by his fanciful charm. But they must assume that we're dumber than dumb, that we'll take their word and go numb and succumb. But I think they've guessed wrong, or at least we can hope, that no one of sound mind could be such a dope. Like everyone else, Dr. Seuss had his flaws. He made some missteps and got dirt on his paws. But he owned his mistakes, made amends and grew wise, illustrated his growth as his heart grew in size. Seuss was a model of how we should behave. In confronting our flaws, we should all be so brave. And if we are able, put lessons to rhyme, for a rhyme drives a point with rhythm through time. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme, for a rhyme drives a point with rhythm through time. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme, for a rhyme drives a point. Rhyme drives a point. Rhyme drives those with an urge to burn witches and books. We should face them with courage and Seussian looks. We should block them with baffles that baffle them good, so our descendants will know where it is that we stood. Let them read Dr. Seuss. Let them read it, I say. Let them read the whole catalog. Don't you take it away. It's not yours to take. It belongs to us all. Your authority's fake, and your bluff we now call. Straight to hell with this wokeness. Kids can handle the truth. Acquisition of nuance is the purpose of youth. If we shield them from slight jabs and bumps, they'll grow weak. They'll fear violence and innocent words that we speak. And who wants to live as a quivering wreck? Minds like a sieve hiding under the ground. Have them come up, stand out tall and robust. Although history's full of events most unjust, that's not the whole story. No, not by a lot. We've made progress aplenty in both fairness and thought. Though we've miles yet to go, and we've no time to rest. The West is best suited to master this test. So we must protect it, stand fast and defend values that must never be brought to an end. Equality is good, a most worthy objective. It must be defended from naive invective. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme, for a rhyme drives a point with rhythm through time. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme. If we are able, put lessons to rhyme, for a rhyme drives a point. Rhyme drives a point. Rhyme drives. And we must keep on and continue to strive to keep progress going and keep hope alive. Doesn't matter your color, your sex, or your creed. Opportunity is the thing all Sneetches need, irrespective of stars that they have or they don't, regardless of things that they will or they won't. We know how to fix this. It's in all those books, lodged now deep in our minds, in the crannies and nooks. Have a look and you'll see Seuss is in there, I swear. So give him a good dusting off if you dare. He taught us a lot that we now need to know. How is sure that they're right, as I'm sure you're aware. So treat this rock and each other with the greatest of care.
Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow. You are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream, yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it there for the last gone? In a vision or in none, is it there for the last gun? All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a self-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. Have you yet had it creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep? Oh God, I cannot grasp them with a tighter clasp. Oh God, I cannot save one from the pitiless way. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. All that we see or seen is but a dream within a
Good evening. I wanted to give you an update on the current situation in Afghanistan. As you know, we were set to leave Afghanistan this month, and as we began the final drawdown, I made some critical errors. Namely, I underestimated the strength of the Taliban, and I overestimated the strength and capability of the friendly Afghan forces. This was my fault. And due to my mistake, the Taliban has taken control of Afghanistan. There are reports now that ISIS and Al-Qaeda are working alongside them. Unfortunately, there are tens of thousands of Americans on the ground there, as well as friends and allies of America on the ground. These people, Americans and our allies, are all stranded. And that is my fault. That is my fault. But they will not be stranded for long. In the next 48 hours, America will be in control of most major airports in Afghanistan. Any resistance we meet from the Taliban or otherwise when we seize these airports will be destroyed completely and without mercy. From those airports, we will conduct rapid strike rescue missions until we have recovered and evacuated all our citizens, allies, and friends. Any person that interferes with these operations will be killed. We will also recover or destroy all aircraft, vehicles, weapons, and sensitive equipment that we left behind. Any person utilizing or located in close proximity to these weapons or equipment will be killed. Once we have evacuated all friendly personnel and recovered or destroyed the weapons and equipment left behind, we will depart Afghanistan. But we will continue to monitor everything that happens in Afghanistan through our ground and airborne surveillance equipment. Terrorist training camps or activity will be targeted and destroyed. Gross violations of human rights will be stopped through overwhelming force. And any group in Afghanistan fighting for freedom, liberty, and basic human rights will be supported through special operations forces and ruthless precision air power. We will continue that dedicated support until the enemy is no longer a threat to humanity or to the good people of Afghanistan. May God bless America, and may God have mercy on the souls of our enemy, because we will not. That is all. And that is my fault. That is my fault. And that is my fault. That is my fault.
Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Existence cannot be without them. What do you mean, Spock? Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Existence cannot be without them. Physical reality is consistent with universal law. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. There is no reality. There is no reality. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. Doctor, in your opinion, what killed Mr. Chekhov? A piece of lead in his body. Wrong. His mind killed him. Come on, Spock, if you've got the answer, tell us. Physical reality is consistent with universal law. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. All of this is unreal. What do you mean unreal? I examined Chekhov. He's dead. But you made your examination under conditions which we cannot trust. We judge reality by the response of our senses. Once we are convinced of the reality of a given situation, we abide by its rules. Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Existence cannot be without them. Physical reality is consistent with universal law. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. There is no reality. There is no reality. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. We judge the bullets to be solid, the guns to be real. Therefore, they can kill.
Chekhov is dead because he believed the bullets would kill him.
He may indeed be dead. We do not know.
But we do know the Melkotians created the situation. If we do not allow ourselves to believe that the bullets are real, they cannot kill us.
Exactly. I know the bullets are unreal. Therefore, they cannot harm me. I know the bullets are unreal. Therefore, they cannot harm me. Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Existence cannot be without them. Physical reality is consistent with universal law. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. There is no reality. There is no reality. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality. Physical laws simply cannot be ignored. Where the laws do not operate, there is no reality.
Certain as you are, Mr. Spock, if we're to save our lives.
Precisely.
That's not possible. There'll always be some doubt.
The smallest doubt would be enough to kill you.
It's interesting that some people find science so easy and others find it kind of dull and difficult. Especially kids, you know, some of them are just eat it up. And I don't know why it is. It's the same perhaps for all subjects. For instance, lots of people love music and I never could carry a tune. I lose a great deal of pleasure out of that. And I think people lose a lot of pleasure who find science dull. In the case of science, I think that one of the things that make it very difficult, it takes a lot of imagination. It takes a lot of imagination. It takes a lot of imagination. It's very hard to imagine all crazy things that things really are like. It's very hard to imagine all crazy
atoms that are jiggling only a little bit in the cold thing, so that the heat, we say, goes into the cold thing, it spreads. But what's spreading is just jiggle and irregular motions, which is easy to kind of understand. It takes a lot of imagination. It's very hard to imagine all crazy things that things really are like. It takes a lot of imagination. It's very hard to imagine all crazy things that things really are like. And if you're used to balls bouncing, you know they slow up and stop after a while. But we have to imagine with the atoms a perfect elasticity. They never lose any energy. Every time they bounce, they keep on bouncing. They're perpetually moving. And that the things that happen when we say something loses energy, if a ball comes down and bounces, it shakes irregularly some of the atoms in the floor. And then when it comes up again, it leaves some of those atoms moving, jiggling. So as it bounces, it's passing its extra energies, its extra motions, to little patches on the floor each time it bounces, and loses a little each time, until it settles down, we say, as if all the motion has stopped. But what's left is the floor is shaking more than it was before, and the atoms in the ball are shaking more than they were before. At the organized motion of all these atoms moving the same way, falling down, and the quiet floor is now transformed into a ball sitting on the ground. But all that emotion is still there in the form of the jiggling of the floor, which is a little bit warmer. But anybody who's hammered a great deal on something knows that it's true, that if you pound something, you can feel the temperature difference. It heats up. It heats up simply because you're jiggling. It takes a lot of imagination. It's very hard to imagine all crazy things that things really are like. It takes a lot of imagination. It's very hard to imagine all crazy things that things really are like. Keep looking at all kinds of things this way. I find myself trying to imagine all kinds of things all the time, and I get a kick out of it, just like a runner gets a kick out of sweating. I get a kick out of thinking about these things. I can't stop. I mean, I could talk forever.
Akira.
The Don.
Do you know who Akira the Don is?
I can't spit with a care about.
Negativity, that internal feeling pulling at you. That is our natural state. That is our natural state. We're being summoned to move. We earn the positivity in our heart, in our soul, by the positive actions we undertake that preserve us. That's how we stay self-governing. If we just woke up feeling perfect, we wouldn't do shit. We'd be the guy on the couch. You guys gotta realize, some are so subdued by their overeating, by their vice, by their negativity, that they just don't get. They're being told to something greater, being summoned from above. But why today? Told to something greater, being summoned from above. But why today? Why today was I so fucking negative, so angry and frustrated? Perfect perfect. That means I've just been slacking on myself, on my personal development, and I need to go harder. Negativity, that internal feeling pulling at you. That is our natural state. That is our natural state. We're being summoned to move. Negativity, that internal feeling pulling at you. That is our natural state. That is our natural state. We're being summoned to move. Perfect. If you're that much more negative, go that much harder. That means your call is greater. Your call is greater. Why? How does this make sense? Wisdom is problems overcome. Negativity inside of us is the greatest problem that ever existed. It's ruined more lives than anything. It's basically the culprit of what causes you to partake in vices. If you woke up feeling perfect, would you run to that drink? If you woke up and everything was right, would you smoke that shit? Would you twist that joint? No, you're doing that because something is pulling at you just enough. Oh, I got this anxiety. Oh, I can't sleep. Oh, I just gotta forget about this shit. It's fucking tearing me up inside. I mean, I never met anyone that didn't have negativity that pushed them towards something that they didn't want to do. Negativity, that internal feeling pulling at you. That is our natural state. That is our natural state. We're being summoned to move. Negativity, that internal feeling pulling at you. That is our natural state. That is our natural state. We're being summoned to move. This is where we change it all. We flip that negative. We realize that anger, that frustration, that's just energy in motion. And we use that energy to get into motion to building the life of our dreams.
I like that. I like that.
This contrast created from feeling like such shit, such garbage, stepping into something we don't want to do for the greater good to feel better on the other side is what builds us the most. This is what does it. Literally, inaction breeds more fear, more doubt. Action, self-investment, that breeds self-love, that breeds self-respect. 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 Action, self-investment, that breeds self-love, that breeds self-respect.
If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, work day and night for it, give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If only desire of it makes you quite mad enough never to tire of it. If only desire of it makes you quite mad enough never to tire of it. Makes you hold all other things tawdry and you cheat for it. Hold all other things tawdry and you cheat for it. If life seems all empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and you dream is about it. If gladly you'll sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, lose all your terror of God or of man for it. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, work day and night for it, give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If only desire of it makes you quite mad enough never to tire of it. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, work day and night for it, give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it. If only desire of it makes you quite mad enough never to tire of it. Life seems all empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and you dream is about it. If gladly you'll sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, lose all your terror of God or of man for it. If you'll simply go after that thing that you want with all your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, stern pertinacity. decide. If dogged and renewed decision decide, you'll get. If you